and welcome. My name's Sam and this is the Little Greenhouse Creates. Thank you for joining me today, and thank you for joining me for the second in this week's stamp set of the week, Reindeer Fun. And we're going to make a slightly 3D card today using the dies. So do excuse the shadow. I have got the most beautiful weather. It's bitterly cold outside, but the sun is shining and it's reflecting into the window. And if I close the windows or close the curtains, we'll have no light in here at all. So I'm going to try and work with what we've got. So this is the beautiful card we're going to create today. We've got a lovely little deer, and we've got some jingle bells, and we've got a 3D effect here. So let me bring in the dies. So this is the beautiful dies that go alongside this stamp set. So this is the die cut out for the jingle bells. Then you've got the Christmas tree, which is down here. You've got the two reindeer, this one and the two-piece reindeer, and everything else is added extra. So you've got the scenery, you've got more bells, you've got lights, bows, Christmas presents, holly, wreath, and then these three little characters here cut out make one reindeer, and it is beautiful. Now we'll see that tomorrow. No, we won't. We'll see that Friday. But this is a fantastic set of dies. You can hear a little tapping noise. I do apologise. That's my dog walking behind me. She wouldn't go out of the office when I was wanting to record, and now she just wants to keep looking out the window and then going back to where she sits down and back and forwards and backwards and forwards. So we're going to try and ignore her. So, as I said, this is our card and these are my supplies. Okay, so this time round we're going to use Poppy Parade, which measures 8 inches by 5 3/4, and we will score at the 4-inch mark. Okay, we have one piece of white cardstock that measures 3 3/4 by 5 1/2. We also have a Granny Apple Green, identical size, 3 3/4 by 5 1/2. We then have a second piece of white cardstock, which literally is a hair's breadth smaller than the green cardstock, than the Granny Apple Green. So there isn't a measurement of that. I've just literally made it a hair's breadth. Reason being is I didn't want it the full size, and when we add the dimension to it, I just need it to have a little tiny green layer around the back of it. Okay, so I have a piece of white card which is 1 by 3 1/4 inches. That's for the sentiment, and then I have this piece for the die cutting. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to stamp out, should I say, the reindeer and the bells. So let's do that first of all. So I've got this beautiful reindeer here. Okay. And I'm just going to pop him down there. Now I could have stamped him. Oh, his paw didn't come out. Okay, let's try that again. I could have stamped him on the backing card, but I just wanted a slight dimension. It's not going to be put on dimensionals, but I didn't want him totally and utterly flat in the back of my card. So if I just bring the card in, you can see he's not flat. You can just see that I have stuck him down there, and I think it just gives that a little bit more of a interest. Then I've got my bells. There we go. And now I'm going to bring in my colouring. So there we go. So let me just show you these quickly. So this is the bells that go over like so. And then I've got the dies, once I've coloured it in, for the reindeer. Then with my Granny Apple Green, I'm going to bring in the detailed leaves and circle. And I'm going to pop it up as probably more up than down on the green, like that, on the Granny Apple Green. And then I will run that through the embossing folder. So the first thing to do now is to colour them in. So the colours I'm using are, for the reindeer, I've got light copper clay, I have got light wild wheat, poppy parade and granny apple green. So the wild wheat is going to be for the ears of my reindeer and his little tail. There he goes. And what I'll probably do is give him a little bit of colour on his ear back here. Then I've got the copper clay for my deer. So then that will come over like so. Oh, isn't he gorgeous? I just love him. He looks so playful, so happy, this little deer. He really does. It's definitely going to be one of the reindeer that will grow up and help Santa. I've got a feeling. There we go. We, last year, no, 2 years ago, should I say, we had the grandchildren over for Christmas Eve. And then when they went to bed, they put out their normal, drink for Santa and a mince pie. And my grandson wanted to leave out a carrot for the reindeer, which is perfectly fine. Absolutely no problems at all. So we did such a thing and we put it out and we left it on the ledge. And then we went off to bed and I put the children to bed and read them a story and tucked them in, and thankfully they were fast asleep when I came downstairs, only to discover that my little white husky, or big husky, had decided that she was going to be the reindeer this year and had eaten the carrot. And all she had left was the tiny little piece of chewed carrot top that was left on the floor. So I had to go rummaging. Thankfully, I had more carrots in the house. I had to go rummaging around the fridge to find another piece of another piece of carrot, just in case the children woke up before I went to bed. Okay, so I'm now using Granny Apple Green for the bow. There we go. And then I'm going to put that across the bell, and then I'm going to use the Poppy Parade to colour in, the other side for the bell. Right, so you don't have to agonise watching me do the colouring in. I shall do the rest off camera and then I shall return. And we're back. Okay, so here we are. I have coloured in my bells and I coloured in my reindeer, and while I was colouring in I noticed that I had forgotten to add his reins, which literally sit on the reindeer like so and in full colour. So while I was off camera I did that one. So I'm going to decide whether we go for the one without or the one with. And then I ran my dye through the dye and cut emboss machine. Ran it through a couple of times. There you go. So there's a few little speckles left. So let me just poke those through. Come on, there we go. Get rid of those. Little dot there. So as you can see, it goes quite close up to the edge of our cardstock, which is 3 3/4 by 5.5. Now I think the reason that is because the American measurements are slightly bigger when they create their cards, so that is the reason for that. Okay, so let's bring in our piece of cardstock. Now I've got to try and work out. I think that is the smaller one. Yep, it is. Okay, so what we need to do now is I am going to use these strips. They're called foam adhesive strips, and I'm just going to run them along my card, back of my card base. So that's going to go there. I'm going to turn it, and then it's going to run all the way along there. Now obviously I'm not going to be able to put a bit down there, but they come in very long strips. I've got my scissors, so I can literally pop that down there straight up and then chop that bit off like so. This ideal for shaker cards, but this is not going to be a shaker card. So that goes down the way there. Again, I can turn it. I mean, if you prefer, you can chop it off. There we go, and turn like so. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my last one. Obviously you can use all of these pieces. So that will come in across here, and then again get turned to go up here as far as I dare, because obviously I don't want it showing through on the other side. So that piece can now go back in. And then what we do is we strip off the backing. One. By turning it at each corner rather than snipping it, it just makes it easier to strip off the edges, the backing paper. Okay, so this now can go onto our piece of card base. So we're just going to hover over, making sure I've got it all before I stick it down firmly. Yep, we are there. Right, so there is our card. Now our bells will go up here like so, and our reindeer will slip inside. So we'll put glue on the back of it. So let's have a look. So if we slide him down there like so, and he's flat, how does he look? Let's have a look. So he could be like that, and then we'll bring him down slightly, and then we can have our bells onto there, and then the sentiment would go across here. Tell you what, let's stamp the sentiment up first. So the sentiment I've got is, may all your days be full of cheer, and I'm going to stamp that in the early espresso. So tap it onto my ink, check it out. Yeah, I'm happy with that, and then I can pop it onto my piece of card, and then that will come off like so. So that will sit on there like that. So the question is, do I like it with the reindeer as plain, or I take it out and add our little reindeer in with his harness, ready to go and fly with Santa? And then I can add my bells like that. Do you know what? I think I do actually prefer it with the harness. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. I can save this piece for another card. So the thing to do now is to add some glue to the back of my reindeer. I'm just going to add little scribbles. Okay, there we go. Right. Pick him up, and then I'm just going to tuck him in as best I can, and then slide him down to about there, I think. Yep, I'm happy with that, and just pop him down. Whoa, easy tiger. Let's not try and move him too much. There we go. Right, okay, so the thing to do now is to add our bells. So I'm going to put glue at the top and a dimensional on the bottom. So let's grab that. Single dimensional to go down the bottom. And then I'm just going to put a tiny bit of glue at the top. There we go. Come on. There we go. Then we can take the backing off of that. we are. Turn that over, and then it can go up there and it dips. What you'll find is that the dimensional is slightly, it's not as thick as the foam strips. Okay, so it will dip down. Obviously, if you wanted not to dip down, then just pop a bit of the foam strip on the back. Okay, so now I'm just going to add my sentiment. So that will go down here. Let's just make sure that is straight. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to bring my bling box in and add some glitter. So let's see, we could, of course you could use the Wink Stella, and we can make our bells have a bit of sparkle. And then we can add our, I think I'm going to add silver. I've only got the slightly bigger ones left. There's one tiny one there. Let's have a look. So let's put, there's a tiny mark there. I'm not sure what it's from, so I'm going to pop that one there. And then I'm going to pop, definitely think there should be one inside. I'm just going to put it down here so it just peeks through the foliage, and then the other one I will probably put up here. There we go. And now all we need to do is to mount it onto our card base. So put that there. Bring in the Poppy Parade. For those of you that wish to score, we are scoring at the 4-inch mark, and then we're going to burnish with our bone folder like so. That can then be popped onto there, and I'm just going to attach that with the multi-purpose. I don't need to add any more weight to the card, because obviously postage is a costly affair these days. And obviously if we can keep the weight down, that helps. And then the last thing to do is to pop our inside card. So I'm going to use my stamp and seal for that. Now if you're watching this on YouTube, you will be able to find at the bottom of the video a list of all the supplies that I have used. If however you are on Facebook and you don't have access to YouTube, then if you need to know anything, please pop a message in the bottom of the comments and I will respond to you as soon as I see the message appear. So it's just occurred to me, I'm not sure how it's going to look, but we'll see. We could add our little deer here. What do we think? Actually, I think that's quite cute. Right, let's do that. I never want anything to go to waste. And it wouldn't have gone to waste. I would have used it in another card or a scrapbooking page. Right, okay, so let's add him just to there. There he is. Isn't he beautiful? Right, okay, so thank you ever so much for joining me today. I will return on Friday and we're going even deeper onto the, what do they call them? Onto the dies. So please do join me on Friday if you're available. If not, I look forward to catching up with you very soon. Take care and I hope you have a good day.